Hey guys, so welcome back. So in our last lecture, we have seen how to add log statement through the log4j2 API. And in this lecture, we're going to see how we can perform cross-browsing or parallel testing. Okay, to do this, we're going to convert our project to a test.ng so that we can use our test.ng XML file. Okay, so let's go to, this is our project. Okay, and to convert your project, we're going to, here is our project level. You can right click, you can see there is a test.ng option, right? And then there is a test.ng convert to test.ng. So click on there, and then here you don't need to change anything, just it will come to a test.ng XML file default, the frame. That's fine. And this is the name of the location where is going to be saved the test.ng XML file. Just leave it as it is. Let's finish it. Okay, here you can see there is a file been created here, test.ng XML file. Okay, let's double click up there. Okay, and here you can see that test.ng has been created, and then there is a this is the format. I believe that you already know that the explanation of the test.ng file we have covered in our previous test.ng session. So here once again, just a very high level, this is the hierarchy of test.ng. It started with the suite, and then this is the suite name, and then there is a test is like a test module or test folder you can consider. So every test module or test folder, you will have a number of classes, like number of test cases. Like test cases, we know this example over here, the registration tests, right? So registration test, you can see this is the registration test, and it is under a one class, right? So you could have a multiple class, because in real life you will have a lots of class, and every class you could have a one test cases or multiple test cases. So all of your test cases should be part of one test module or test folder. You can consider this one as a test module. So this is the test tag, and this is the closing tag, and between this you will have all of your classes. Here is the classes, and inside that you will have multiple classes, right? All of your test classes. So here is our base class. Here it looks like include the base class. Base class is not in fact our test cases, it is the setup class. So we remove that one. We'll keep only the real classes which is related to the test class, which is over here is a registration test, right? And then you're closing your suite. Okay, so this is the very high level hierarchy and explanation of your test.ng XML file. Now we're going to, what we are going to do, so we convert our project to test.ng, and then let's go to our, here we said this is the instruction, the action point. So we create test.ng XML file and declare parameterization for browser. So we said that we're going to do a perform cross-browsing parallel testing. So cross-browsing parallel testing, it means we'll perform a parallel testing and with a different browser at the same time. Usually when you run your execution, if you have a multiple test cases, it will run one after another in a sequence. But in parallel, it means, if you have a 10 test cases, all the 10 cases will run at the same time. And the cross browsing, it means, you can perform your execution with a different browser, like a Chrome, Firefox, Edge, all of them, you can perform that. So that's what we're going to do over here. We're going to run a parallel testing, like multiple, a parallel testing with a different browser at the same time. And that's what we're going to do through our test.ng XML file, because in test.ng XML file, we have learned from our previous test.ng session that you can create parameterization. You can declare parameterization in your XML, and then you can pass that parameterization to a specific class level. Okay, so here that's what I was saying. Okay, create test.ng XML file we have already created and declare parameterization for browser name. So we'll declare a parameter, the value in case. So parameter, there will be name. Name would be the browser, and the value would be what browser you want to run, like as a default browser, say example Chrome. Okay, and then we'll pass to our base class, because base class is the class where we have setup method where we have an initialization about the driver, where we declare our URL and so on. So and this will run at the first. So that's why we can pass this parameterization in our base class. Let's see. You can say update the base class, like setup method, to launch browser based on different condition using a switch case. So we are going to apply a switch case so that we can pass multiple different option for the different browser. Let's see. Let's go here. So let's declare first the parameterization. So if you want to declare a parameterization, what do you need to do? We can declare where? We can declare in suite level, we can declare in test module level. So I will declare in suite level. So suite level, it means if you pass any parameterization over here. So let me pass the parameter, create the parameterization over here, right? Declare a parameter. So we'll say parameter, the parameter tag. You can say parameter tag, it's a closing parameter, and it comes with the two format. It's a key and value, or name and value. So name would be, I will give a name, say example browser, and the value of this browser, it will be here. So I will say Chrome. Okay. And now this parameter, the name is browser. This parameter I can pass to anywhere, any classes. Like we have a test cases over here, or we have a base class we have over here. So we can pass this parameter from your test.xml file to any class, because when you declare your parameter underneath the suite, it can go anywhere. Okay, you can pass this parameter to anywhere. So let's go to our base class, because we're going to pass this parameter, this name, to our base class. So because our base class, we have a setup method, and setup method, we said it has all the prerequisite things, like prerequisite about your Chrome driver, about your delete cookies. You can see all the prerequisite, and about the URL. So those are the first things need to invoke first, So the browser so it is the browser info. So it is the browser info, right? This browser. So we need to pass the browser information in our setup method, so that at the beginning of your execution, we need to know like what would be the driver, what would be the browser, what would be the URL. So that's why it should be passed over here. So to pass over here any parameter value from your test.ng to any class in any specific method, how can we do this? So it's very simple. We have covered this part in our test.ng session. So simply you will come to the method you want to pass this value, the parameter from your test.ng, come to here, and then you use a annotation. It's called from the test. It's called parameters, right? Parameters, right? And then you pass the parameter values. So over here, what's the parameter? So you pass exactly the same parameter, parameter name you have. So here is a parameter name we have, browser, right? This is the browser. So you will pass exactly same parameter. Come over here. This it's a global variable, you can say. Okay, between a double quote. Okay, so and you can add more if you want to more. This you can add more parameter over here, and you can pass to here too. If you want to have a more, you can just comma and you can double quote, add the more parameter, right now, and then hover your mouse, import your package here. Make sure that you input the right package. This is the one. Okay, let me show you. The import parameter test.ng annotation, not the first two. Okay, none of the first two. Okay, third one you can see. Okay, and then I want to change this annotation, like before class, because before class it's load this method before before in a class level. right? At the beginning on a class level, whenever you have a test case method, in whatever the test case you have, before all those test case method, this method will launch once. But I want to remove this one to test, before test. The reason why before test, let me change it to annotation, testing annotation before test. Okay, and we have a after class. I will make this one after test. After test, I'll explain you why I'm doing this. Save it. The reason why I changed this one to before test, because now we create a testing.xml file, and we want to run our test cases, our execution from the XML file moving forward. So that is a one single file, one single place we can run any number of test cases, all of your project. Right now we have a one test cases in one class. Moving forward, we'll see that an upcoming session will create more test cases. So everything will be in XML file, so that all the test cases we can run by one single click through this testing.xml file. So if you put and this is the first method we want to execute, and each and every test cases is going to be independent. It means before each and every test cases we want to execute this method before each and every test cases, and after each and every test cases we want to execute this after test method, this method. So it means we have to run this method multiple times, before each and every test cases, and this should be run so to run this method through the testing.xml file, I have to change the annotation to a before test, because before test, it means this method will be fall in your test thread, or in your test module, in this module. Okay, so that's why I changes this one to a before test. Okay, now if you run this test cases from this XML file, this method will get executed first, this method. Okay, because we added to before test, because before test is always belongs to your testing.xml file in test module level. Just remember that. And before class is always belongs to class level, not testing.xml level. Okay, so anyways, so come to here. Now I declare this, I call this variable, the browser variable, from testing to over here. Now if I want to pass the browser, what does it mean? This browser, it means it's Chrome. So if I want to pass this browser, the Chrome browser, to this method, what I need to do, I have to create a variable over here for this variable, for this, the parameter, browser parameter, same for parameter. So it is it's a return type, string, right? So let's declare a string, and then for the browser, I will give a new name. It's called, let's give a name. It's called browser name, because this variable is, this browser is built for related to the browser. So I give a new variable, declare over here browser name. So this browser name will replace by this browser, and this browser, it means Chrome. In testing, we know it means it's a value is Chrome. So ultimately this browser, it's now is Chrome. It's this browser variable, it's assigned by the Chrome value. Okay, now what I want to do, I want to add a switch case option here. Switch case option here, or after the logger. Okay, let's before this. So here you can see we declare new Chrome driver equals a driver. So this is specifically for Chrome, right? Chrome browser, Chrome driver and browser, right? Chrome driver and browser. So this line is for Chrome browser and driver. So I want to add a switch case statement here. We'll say so that it can, we have a different option for different browser. And then whenever we change this browser value over here, the browser value, if it's a Chrome, it will call this line. If the browser value is changed over here like a Firefox, it will call the code related to the Firefox. It will execute the Firefox browser. Let's see. So let's add the switch case statement. Switch, right? Switch, and then we'll add it case, right? Switch case statement. So we'll add over here. Let's add it, the switch statement first. So in the switch statement, I will call this browser variable. So this browser variable right now, its value is Chrome. We'll say browser name to, let's convert to lowercase to make sure that there is no alphanumerical issue, like so if some reason too lower. So everything will be lowercase, because usually our Chrome, it should be all lowercase, and Firefox is everything should be in lowercase. So I converted to lowercase. Whatever, even though we write it in uppercase, it will be converted to lowercase. Okay. So, and then we'll say here for a case, for a switch, this is the, so we pass the browser name variable over here. And now for a case statement, I will say, if this is the first case, if the Chrome, for the browser name, the value is Chrome, if it's a Chrome, it should execute this line, because for the Chrome, it should be execute driver equals to new Chrome driver. So which will be Chrome driver, will initiate the Chrome driver and will execute in Chrome browser, right? So it should be this, right? And then I will say, if it's another case, let's add another case. So case, say Firefox. If it's a Firefox, we want to execute what? So we'll say driver equals to new, and then for the Firefox, there is a Firefox class, right? We'll create an object of the Firefox class. It's called Firefox driver, right? Firefox driver, right? So hover your mouse, input the Firefox related Selenium Firefox, yes. Okay. Similarly, for the case, say example Edge, we'll say case. Here we need to add one more thing here. Okay, I will add, hold on. Let's put it here. It's like edge. Then we'll say for edge, we'll say driver equals to new, then edge driver, right? Edge driver. And then so this is the three options. So it's up to you, how many browser you want to cover, or you want to give an option, different condition, right? Hover your mouse, input the edge package, and then case, oh sorry, I put this, I want this one. And then the last one, we should have add the default option. Default. So the default, it means if none of the case match, like some reason, over here, testing browser name value, we put something not a Chrome, Firefox, or Edge, something else which doesn't match, some by mistake. So definitely we should have some default value. So in that time, we'll say the default would be sysout. Let's do a print. So if it doesn't match, so it means we're not able to define any browser and the driver. So it means it's something wrong. So we can say, we can print some execution, some message. We'll say browser does not exist. Okay, and then we should add a return. Keyword. Return, it means it will exit the whole execution, because there is no point to continue or move to the next line and continue the execution if there is no browser. right? If it doesn't match the browser option, following our condition, right? This 3 condition. So it's better return will stop the execution. Okay. And here, let's remove the comment. Here, we want to, so if the browser name is Chrome, then it will kick off this line. It means it will initialize the Chrome browser, also the Chrome driver. Then we don't need to execute or check the rest of the line and rest of the option over here. It means it should jump out. It should jump out from this case option, from this condition, right? From the switch case block, it should comes to over here in next line. We don't need this one anymore, right? So it should come to the next line, right? So how this can happen? To happen this one, if as soon as you find the match, you can put a break. So break will jump out of the switch case block. It will come to over here, right? So similarly, we can add break here too. So break. We can add break here too, right? Break. Okay. So this is the way you can we can write add the break, and we can jump out from the switch case block. Okay. So this will help us give a multiple option. And now it's totally up to you, what browser you want to launch your application, right? So let me save it. And then go to the testing.xml file. If you can see, we can run. So now we're moving forward. We're going to run our test cases through the XML file. Now it's Chrome. Okay. Let me right click and let's run it. Run testing G suite. Finger cross. Invoke the browser. Pretty good. Launch the application. Here we go. Yeah. It did. Looks good. One test, pass, no fail. And you can see the test case got pass, verify, registration, right? Registration, test case, that's the method. It's got pass, right? Pretty good. So this is the way, we can, if you want, let me try over here, change to the browser. Here we'll say Firefox. Let's say that if it's whether it's work or not. Okay, save it, run it, testing the suite. As a Firefox, looks good. Here we go. You see, it's worked also for Firefox. This is the way. So you can change your parameter value over here for the browser name, and based on whatever the parameter said, make sure that this name it's match over here in your base class, setup method, right? Over here in your condition, because this is the condition, this is the multiple condition using the switch case condition, whatever so here is the Firefox. If it's the upper lowercase, shouldn't be problem, because we said we're going to convert everything to lowercase, but Firefox have to be Firefox, not something else, right? Same is for the Edge. Okay, so this is the way we can run, we can choose the have the multiple condition for the different browser. Okay, so what's next? Let me check our node over here. So we did this part. Create testing.xml file, declare parameterization for browser name and pass to base class, and update the from the base class setup method to launch browser based on different condition using the switch case, right? Now we're saying that maintain separate XML file to run test multiple browser parallelly. Now it's like cross browsing parallel testing. So this is, up until this we have completed that, we have seen that we can declare the parameterization from XML file for multiple different browser option. Now next things, we're going to we'll do a cross-browsing testing, cross-browsing and parallel testing. So cross-browsing parallel, you understand that you can perform your test cases, execute your script, and all the test cases will run the same time simultaneously. And cross-browsing, that's a different browser, so different browser will run at the same time parallelly. Okay, we'll see. So to do this, we'll do this again through the test.xml file. So let's go to our project. I'll change this. I'll create another XML file copy. So let's go there. So let's rename. So this test.xml file, let's make a copy of this XML file so that we don't have to change over here. Okay, and then paste in your project level. Again, in your project. So in your project level, you can paste it over here. Okay, give a name over here. Say, make sure the extension, you keep the extension right. I would say, let's give a name cross parallel. Okay, cross parallel testing .xml. Okay, so now, so we have a two XML file. You can see one is cross parallel testing, another one is testing XML file, right? So testing XML file, this is the original one. I don't want to mess up with this, so let's keep it separate. You can have a multiple XML file, that's fine. And then if you want, you can just rename this one later on. Okay, we'll rename this one, I think, or keep it this one as a master XML file. Okay, let me see this. I can rename, refactor, rename. So let's rename this one, make it this one, the original one, the first one, say master. This is the master XML file. Okay, good. And now let's see, open the cross parallel testing one. So to do a cross parallel testing, what we can do, we can change here. So let's change so first is we're going to let me see. So we have a test folder or test thread. You can see there's a test module over here. In this is the one set test module. You could have a multiple set of test module, as many as you want. Okay, because in real life you will have a test module. It's nothing like a test a folder, you can say. So one test module, for example, registration, where you have all test cases related to the registration, your account details, all those things. You could have a one test module related to the payment, so where you will have all the test classes related with the payment process, right? So you could have a multiple. So let me create here. So I will keep the, since we have a right now one test cases, I will repeatedly use the same test cases but with multiple browser. That this will give us a cross browser option. Okay, so to do this, so let's copy from, just to remove this guy, I will remove the thread count from here to remove this thread count from here to put it on your suit level. I will tell you what does it mean, the thread count. So here is a test name. It means test module is, it's let's change it here. This one, I will say Chrome test. So this module is for the Chrome test. Okay, Chrome test. So let's copy this module and then paste it another here. Okay, paste it another here. This is another set. Let's paste it another 3 sets and the next one. So first, this test module for the Chrome test, and second test module we'll say for Firefox test. Okay, Firefox test, and the third one we'll say Edge test. Okay, the same test cases will run in multiple browsers. That's a cross browsing. Okay, and here, and we can make those things, and our parameters, for the parameter, let's see, we have a parameter browser. Okay, so now here is we have a parameter. You can see for the parameterization for different browser, we have in suit level, but in this case we have to change this one, because this parameterization, it's a suit level that should, this is the ideal one, that if this is Firefox, it will run on Firefox, but right now we want to run on multiple browser based on your test module. So let's copy this, cut this one. And then for this test module, I want to run on Chrome set. Okay, inside that, up here, you can declare your parameterization in suite level as well as in your test level too. So underneath test, I put it over here. We'll say browser name, and here we'll pass the name is Chrome. Since this module, this test module we defined for the Chrome test, so that it will run in Chrome browser. Similarly, over here, copy this guy and then paste it here in your test. After the test module, here changes to this. So this module is Firefox. Okay, and now so this part, this test module will run on Firefox, and this one, we declare this one for the Edge test. So let's put this one, the parameterization, and change the value of the browser is called Edge. Okay, this is this is, you have to put in lowercase, should be fine because we changed to lowercase. Okay, Firefox value, okay, everything's lowercase. Okay, so this is the 3 sets of test module. For each test module, we pass the parameterization here and the browser name and the value. First set is for the Chrome is Chrome, second set is for the Firefox is Firefox, and the third set is for Edge. Okay, looks good. And now here we have to change, we want to run all these 3 sets of tests with all these different browser parallelly. It means at the same time, at the same time, all these 3 browser will invoke and will execute, do the same testing. Okay, it will put definitely load on your machine. So that's why before you run your parallel testing, and you have to understand, you need a good machine, your machine performance should be good, and how many test cases you want to run. Here is, we have only 1 test case, should be fine. But if you want to run in your lots of tests, like if every module you have a 10 test cases, so it means if you have a multiple 3 modules, like 3 browser, so it means 30 test cases. So you have to understand that it will put some pressure on your machine, and if your machine have to be good, whether it's you run on local machine or for virtual machine, your machine performance have to be good, to execute parallel testing, because in a parallelly 30 browser will be loaded at the same time. I mean, it's a one after another, but it's like 30 test cases will run at the same time, right? And here we have to change, we have to add a we have to add over here, we have to declare here as a parallel equals to, we have to say parallel, we want to run based on test. Okay, test parallel, we have to run test. Okay, right, parallel. So we are saying that in our suite level, this is the suite name, you can give it whatever name your suite name, I will keep it as it is. And this is the parallel, we're saying parallel test case execute for our test modules. So here is our test modules, right? There is a multiple test, this one, this one, this one. So parallelly it will execute. And here is another, that way I copied this part, thread count 5. So thread count 5, it means it is, thread count is basically the number of instances running to execute multiple tests simultaneously or parallelly. The attribute thread count allows the user to specify how many threads should be run for this execution. It allocates memories as per number of execution. So in this example, we have a thread count like it's a 5. It means 5 test module will execute in parallel from 5 threads. So right now we have a 3 test module, so you could have a up to 5. Okay, so if you say it's a 5, so because it will allocated 5 location, 5 memory in our in behind the scene in our virtual memory to execute 5 test thread. Okay, that's simple. So usually if you run parallel, it should, the standard number is between 2 to 5. That should be good. Okay, should be good. Now when you execute this parameter, first is this from this module, test module from here, the browser name is value is Chrome, the Chrome will go to the here in your base class, right over here, and it will match the Chrome. It will invoke on Chrome right away. Then it will go to the next over here for the next test module. For the browser value is Firefox, it will match with the Firefox, and it will execute on the Firefox. So this, it will happen all of the test module at the same time. So this is the interesting part. And so let's save it and now run it. Let's see. Test suite. That's a Firefox. You will see there's a behind the scene, there is a Chrome is already run. Chrome was faster. This is the Firefox is done. And you can see if you see the result, it's test run 3 passes 3. So we have actual test case 1, but for Chrome it ran 1, and then Firefox it ran some another one, and for the Edge it's ran third time. So that's why it's 3 test cases it's ran, and 3 all of them are passed. Okay, so you will see over here, you can see the details result here. Here you can see. Okay, for the Chrome test, here is the Firefox, right? For the Firefox module, it ran the same test and passed. For the Chrome test, it's ran on Chrome browser. For the Edge, it's ran on the Edge browser. Okay, so this is the way you can perform cross-browsing parallel testing through your TestNG XML file. Okay, that's all. Thank you.